if I told you there are horror movies so strange, so original, and so overlooked that you probably won't find them on the usual best horror movies lists? Forget the same old Conjuring, Insidious, and Sinister recommendations. These are 8 movies that deserve way more attention. And trust me, some of these are seriously weird. Coming in at number 8, The Field Guide to Evil, 2018. This isn't your typical horror anthology. 8 filmmakers from different countries take actual folklore, superstitions, and ancient legends from their cultures and turn them into horror stories. The result feels like opening a cursed encyclopedia of monsters that humanity has been telling stories about for centuries. It's uneven, but the concept alone makes it something most horror fans have never experienced. At number 7, The Cursed, 2021. You've probably seen hundreds of werewolf movies, but how many have you seen that feel like a grim Gothic period drama? Set in 19th century France, this movie combines folklore, violence, mystery, and werewolf horror with some seriously disturbing imagery. It's slow, atmospheric, and absolutely not your typical creature feature. And that's probably exactly why most people missed it. Number 6, Peewacket, 2017. A grieving teenage girl, a difficult relationship with her mother, anger, isolation, and a ritual that should never have been performed. What makes Peewacket different is that the supernatural horror grows directly out of the character's emotional problems. The movie doesn't need an army of demons jumping at the camera. Instead, it slowly makes you wonder whether the protagonist has summoned something real or something even worse.
And in you.
Hello?
At number 5, The Devil's Candy, 2015. Imagine combining heavy metal, a haunted house, demonic horror, and an extremely unstable human being. That's basically this movie. But the fascinating part is that the movie doesn't make its central threat feel like just another generic demon. It creates this strange collision between art, music, family, and evil. And because it never became a mainstream horror hit, it's one of those movies that hardcore horror fans occasionally discover and immediately ask, how did I never hear about this?
Just the gas?
Number 4, Censor, 2021. This might be one of the most creative horror concepts on this list. The protagonist works as a film censor during Britain's infamous video nasty era. Her job is literally watching violent horror movies and deciding what the public is allowed to see. Then she encounters a disturbing film that appears to connect with a traumatic event from her own childhood. And suddenly, the person who spends her life separating fiction from reality can no longer tell where one ends and the other begins. It's psychological horror, social commentary, and a love letter to 1980s exploitation cinema all at once. Number 3, The House of the Devil, 2009. This movie is practically an experiment in patience. Instead of throwing jump scares at you every 5 minutes, Ty West recreates the atmosphere of old 1970s and 1980s horror. A young woman takes a strange babysitting job. There's an isolated house. Something feels wrong. And then, the movie waits, and waits, and waits. That slow buildup is exactly what makes the final act hit so hard. Number 2, The Damned, 2024. This is horror without constantly showing you the monster. Set during a brutal 19th century winter, A group of people have to make an impossible decision when survivors from a shipwreck appear. Do they share their already limited food or protect themselves? And once they make their choice, something begins to feel terribly wrong.
Living always more dangerous than that.
And finally, at number 1, The Endless, 2017. If you're tired of predictable horror movies, watch this. Two brothers return to a mysterious cult they escaped years earlier. But once they return, they discover something that completely changes the rules of reality. Time doesn't behave normally. People experience events differently, and the deeper they investigate, the more impossible everything becomes.
Here.
There's something out here, isn't there?
So why are these movies still unknown? Because they're not all jump scare movies. They're not all mainstream franchises. So if you're tired of watching the same horror recommendations over and over again, save this list. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe the channel. Till then, take care.